Finally, there's a replacement for the Holden Captiva after more than 11 years. And this is it, the Holden Equinox, which takes a very different tack to the model it replaces. Where the Captiva used to straddle the SUV market with 5 and 7-seat options available, the new Equinox is purely a 5-seater. Consider this model then as a more fitting competitor to the Mazda CX-5 than a CX-9, but a larger 7-seat model, the Arcadia, will be added later on. Still, this thing looks pretty big, and it is for the class. You can make up your own mind on the styling, but to me it's not quite as attractive as its rivals. Can it make up for that in the cabin? Yes and no. The cabin isn't as high-tech or sexy as some of its competitors, but everything is pretty logically designed. There's good storage, including a big center console, and all the buttons are pretty logically positioned. And every Equinox has CarPlay and Android Auto. The high-spec models like this one have an 8-inch screen, while the lower-spec models have a 7-inch screen. Space in the second row is very good for those in the outboard seats, with plenty of legroom and even decent headroom in this top spec model with the big sunroof. And while it may only be a 5-seater, it's still family friendly, with ISOFIX attachment points for the outboard seats, plus 3 top tether attachment points as well. And it has a big boot, 846 litres according to Holden's claim, which is easily enough for a family's worth of luggage. And with no one in the back seats and with them folded down, that number expands to 1,798 litres. So it seems to stack up pretty well in terms of practicality. Let's take a look at the model lineup. At the time of launch, the model opening the range is the budget-focused LS, the most affordable mid-size SUV from a well-known brand, starting at $27,990 for the 6-speed manual and $29,990 for the 6-speed auto. Then you'll get extra safety kit in the LS Plus, which only comes with an auto and costs $32,990. The LT is where things get interesting. It gets rid of the 1.5 turbo engine and replaces it with a punchy 2-litre turbo and 9-speed automatic. It costs $36,990. The LTZ has more kit again and starts at $39,990 for the front-wheel drive model, or you could get an all-wheel drive model at $44,290. Topping the lineup is the LTZ-V. It only comes in all-wheel drive and costs $46,290. A diesel drivetrain will be offered at a later date to some models. So, what about how it drives? I'm in the LS Plus model at the moment with the automatic gearbox, which it comes with as standard. It's a 1.5 litre turbo with 127 kilowatts and 275 newton meters. And what that all translates to is a fairly effortless drive experience. While the 2-litre engine does have more pep, I've driven it as well, and it does have the 9-speed automatic with that drivetrain. This drivetrain seems to be fairly suitable to most people's needs. Holden has done a fantastic job of making this car feel not really like an SUV. The steering's really accurate and direct, and it's got good on-centre feel, where a lot of cars with electric steering can feel a little bit clumsy when you're trying to hold a straight line. This car feels really confidence-inspiring. Also confidence-inspiring is the suspension and the ride characteristics of the car. It handles corners beautifully, and the ride comfort is exceptionally good. This model rides on 17-inch wheels. The higher spec models ride on 18s and 19s, and you do notice a little bit more terseness to the ride, but it's never uncomfortable and it's never clumsy. There's no denying that the Equinox is a very good mid-size SUV to drive. It might not be as involving or entertaining as some of its more driver-focused competitors, but it is fairly effortless in the way that it handles itself, and also reasonably comfortable in pretty much every situation. The LS Plus we drove returned fuel use of 10.4 litres per 100 Ks, which is well above the claim of 6.5 litres. Our time in the 2-litre model returned above 11 litres. So there you have it, the Holden Equinox, an impressive entry in the mid-size SUV segment, and particularly impressive in the lower spec versions. Is it the best in class? Perhaps not quite, but it's a welcome addition to the Holden lineup.